Howdy everybody, welcome back. This is part 2 of the FlyLEDs Works package, and this is the controller board section. So you will see me working on the controller board. Again, I am including me kind of walking through the instructions that I have, just so you can see a little bit better, because like, what are you looking at here? You're looking at my hands over a green thing. You really can't see anything at all. So I do include just a rundown of the instructions real quick so you can see it a little bit better. Kind of have a better picture of what's actually going on underneath that microscope that I have there. I guess technically that's not a microscope. It's just a magnifying glass. But, teach his own. It enlarges very, very tiny things. And believe it or not, all of that stuff is very, very tiny. And my big old sausage fingers do not do well with very, very tiny things. But as I'm working on the controller board, it's actually really easy to set up. I was kind of afraid when I saw all of the resistors. I'm like, holy crap, I don't know how to do any of this. The instructions lay it out really easy, and it's very simple to do. No, real complex stuff. You kind of put them in the slots they need to be in. You solder them in. If you could solder one connection, you can solder. There's probably 80 or 90 connections, but yeah, if you can do one, you can do them all. It's pretty easy. So don't worry about that if you are worried about it. No new equipment though for this particular video. It's just my same old soldering iron that I had in the last one. So I do recommend a good soldering iron. I will say that. So here you go real quick. I'm going to go through the instructions for you. So here you go. Okay, so here is part 2 of the works. This is the controller board part. You've kind of seen me for the last 30 seconds or so working on it. I figured I would give you kind of the details of this guy here. So the controller board has a whole bunch of little resistors. It has some lights, controller board, and some pins and things like that you put in it. It's pretty easy. As you can see, they have this little diagram here that will tell you what size things go in which hole for all of the sections of this guy, and it ends up looking just like this. And it's not that big. It is kind of odd because this big, huge resistor up here kind of makes it off balance. So I did this guy last, but to each his own. And as you go through, it kind of shows you how to pull the wires kind of through the board, and then you solder them from the back, and then you clip the ends of the wires after they're soldered. And then you do have this, what's it called, the socket. This part fits inside this part, and so you put like one of them's a memory. I forget what it is, but it's like it's just like this connector with this thing that controls stuff. It's like a controller for it. And you put one side in, and then you kind of push it in place there. Here's all of the things that you're messing with. It kind of talks about the angles that you need to have things. And then it gives you a nice little diagram for your pins, where they need to fit and what they do, what pin goes to which section and stuff like that. So pretty self-explanatory on the controller board. Like I said, you'll spend, and this is what you see me in the video looking at, is this diagram right here. You will spend probably 85% of your time right in this diagram. So there you go. Okay, so here is me just putting all of those resistors in that board. And it's not that time consuming. I think the total time it took me was about a half hour. So not bad in the grand scheme of things. It was tedious though, so just be prepared for that. And as you'll see here, I will show you a blown up image of the board and them being soldered in through the magnifying glass. It is kind of difficult to get that image, but you will see it here. I got half a decent image of it, I guess. You guys can let me know if you think it was close enough or not. So here is through the magnifying glass with the camera onto the board, and you can see them, the small little resistors in there, and then I'll turn this over and you can see where some of them have been soldered. You see the little silver spots, those have been soldered. And then you bend the wires. You see how the wires are kind of bent flat? You bend those wires flat and then solder them, and then you snip them with your snippers. And that's pretty much it for the board. But I did realize in this very long video that I have not done a dad joke yet, so I have a couple for you. Hopefully you like them. Okay. So the first one, what did Elvis say to his landscaper? Thank you. Thank you very much. Ah, oh my goodness. That kills me. Oh, so that was pretty bad. But here's another one. It's maybe even worse. Okay, so why didn't the lifeguard save the hippie? He was too far out, man. Oh, those are bad jokes. Oh, really bad jokes. Sorry about that. But there you go. Now you have your wonderful jokes from the Slink Air videos. And then you can see I have what I have left on the table there for the control board. So there's a few resistors. So a few of those things, it's getting pretty close to being done. And you'll see here, I will fast forward, and then all of a sudden it will be done. Okay, so ready? Boom! There. See how fast that was? They all got soldered on. They're all good to go. I only have, I think, 2 things left to add to the board, and one of them is that big, gigantic resistor that goes on it. And that is pretty much it for the control board. There's not a whole lot else. Let's see here, we got, I guess, a few more seconds of soldering things. So that was the big one. You see it kind of stick out there. And then the last thing is testing it. See the flashy lights. And it has a whole test set that you go through to say, oh, is it set up correctly? So it'll flash the green one, it'll flash the red one, it'll flash the white one. So that's how you tell if it's set up correctly and you've done everything correctly. So there you go. That is the control board for the Works package.